now up until now, we have discussed the conventional fields or subfields, subtopics of electrical engineering. But what are the new emerging ECE related technologies? What are the new emerging, let's say, engineering fields that still you cannot find independent departments inside universities teaching these fields, because they are very new, very recent, but very hot topics, and they are very useful, and most of the companies around the world are using them in their products or in their processes or in their manufacturing industry factories. So those topics, the following topics that I will be giving you a glimpse about them, are really important, and the industry is moving towards them, and you cannot escape them. If you want to be employable in the future, if you want to have a good company in the future, you need to work on any of these topics. So the first topic is blockchain technologies and digital currencies. You know, blockchain technology, the basic principle behind it is to be able to build distributed applications, which has no central control power, which means that the users can directly communicate with each other and transmit and receive without being controlled by any middleman. So all these applications that you see in the internet, they have a manager, they have a central, they have an admin. Yes, let's say Facebook, you are using Facebook. So Facebook can block your account at any time the Facebook company wants. Yes, if you have recently heard, like if, for example, Twitter, they blocked President Trump tweets. Yes, they removed them. Why? Because Twitter is a centralized application, which means the control of the application, the control of the platform is in the hand of the company that created that application. But so at the end of the day, they have full control on removing your messages, removing you from the platform, blocking you, whatever. But the future of blockchain is to make technologies and applications that have no one who has full control on them. So just the users who are using them. So nobody can take anybody out, nobody can block anybody. You understand me? So this is one of the nice applications of this digital blockchain technology is the digital currencies. We have the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and we have in several countries, the governments are working on producing their own digital currencies, but those currencies will be under the control of the government and the central bank, but they get the advantages of digital transaction, and you get the advantages of blockchain technology, but in under control manner. So this field is really emerging, and many jobs are opening every day about opportunities in this domain. So it's one of the critical fields that people and future engineers should be looking at, especially when you are studying, when you are during your 4 years of study, during your summer, instead of just wasting your time or not working on yourself and developing. You can just learn about blockchain. Yes, in our universities we don't have courses about blockchain because it's a new technology and it's not part of the curriculum, because it takes time. You know, it takes time until these new emerging technologies get involved and in our curriculum and our system. So it takes time. So don't wait for this. Just develop yourself by yourself during these 4 years. The second big thing here, the Internet of Things technologies. This is so big and so important and so critical that I myself, one of my courses that I teach the student about, I give the course of Introduction to Telecommunication. So at the beginning of the course, the first few months, like 2 months, I quickly just cover all the topics, the fundamental topics of the Introduction to Telecommunication, and then I teach my students about Internet of Things. Although it's not part of the syllabus, I shouldn't be, but because it's so important, it's so critical, and we have to teach the students and prepare them for this future. So what's the Internet of Things? We will explain it in the coming slides. We have the AI, the machine learning, the artificial intelligence, the natural language processing technologies, which is related to data science. Also, it's an emerging field. We have the wireless telecom technologies, 5G, 6G, and beyond. We have the cloud technologies. Nowadays, we have cloud engineers. We have the wireless bioresonance. But wireless bioresonance is something that you can treat people by sending signals to them instead of giving them chemical medicines. Chemical medicines, they just treat the symptoms. They don't kill the roots of the disease or the root of the illness. So this is amazing. This is groundbreaking and new technology. We have the wireless remote sensing. You know, if someone wants to measure your heartbeat, your heart rates or breath rate or blood pressure or whatever, they have to put sensors in your body and measure these metrics. But nowadays we don't need to put anything on the body of the human. We can just remotely sense these parameters using wireless signals without letting anything touch your body. It's amazing. It's like magic. Nobody would believe that this can be possible. We have the cybersecurity domain, which is extremely huge and extremely important. And there are many jobs opening every month for security engineers, for top security experts. It's part of the electrical engineering umbrella, but sometimes you graduate and you don't know anything about it, and you found out later in the market that they demand people who are expert in security. So please prepare yourself. Whatever topic, you cannot be master of all these topics. You just pick one and you try to develop yourself in it. We have the robotics and the drone technologies. We all see many companies nowadays are developing autonomous drones which can autonomously fly and autonomously take action and even fight in the battlefield and make use of it for many civil applications as well. So the world is changing. There are new things emerging. We have the automation and self-control using machine learning and artificial intelligence that make things think like a human. You don't need to program them and tell them, if this happens, do this or execute this. Those are automatically can be, those devices or machine can automatically take actions by their own because they have the capability of learning by experience and taking inputs and output and optimize it and so on and so forth. We have the virtual reality, the augmented reality, the mixed reality, and so it's a huge field as well and very rapidly changing. And people, usually students graduate and they are not equipped, they have no idea about this. You have to be aware that these technologies exist and just look at which technology you want to be and just learn a little bit about it. Don't be oblivious to the development in this domain. We have the haptics and creating new senses to humans. Well, what do we mean by this? This means that you can send signals to your brain through your skin by just attaching a wearable device to your skin. You can, for example, make a deaf person hear things by just sending signals through his skin. So let's say there is a deaf person who cannot hear what you say, but when you say something, this device on your head will resonate and take the sound, convert the sound and embed it inside your body and take the signal until your brain, and the brain will analyze it and understand the word. Imagine this. This is magic. This is unbelievable. I have a student who developed, who we are writing together a patent with him, who was able, he said, like, there is a problem that most people suffer from is that sometimes you want to memorize something forever. You don't want to forget it. And usually how the human brain works is that you memorize something today. If you don't revise it after 1 week, you will like forget half of it. If you don't revise it after 1 month, you forget more than half. If you don't revise it after 1 year, you almost forget everything. So how can we solve this problem? How can you memorize something forever? How you can not forget it at all? So he designed a device, simple device that you can put in your on your skin, on your hand, and basically it just if he wants you to memorize certain topics or certain articles, he just write the article and send it as signals inside your skin, and these signals go through your whole body and reach your brain and get stored there. So you basically don't read the signal, it's just a signal embedded, transmitted, and you store it, and the brain will understand it, learn it, and store it, and this process gets repeated automatically so that the brain doesn't forget it, and it remains there for any time you want. So we have the smart web and mobile applications. It's already emerging, and this is, we all know, but now we have the smart web, we have the smart mobile applications, which integrate AI and machine learning and the blockchain technology and cloud technologies. Like the ultimate goal, the end goal of these applications, along with developing advanced mobile and wearable devices, is to have devices that are so small that can fit in the finger, in your finger, and basically all the processing, all the RAM, the processing, the computing power, all these capabilities will be hosted in the cloud. And since you will have a very high speed internet connection, you will be able to run these applications smoothly and nicely without even the need to have huge RAM or huge processing power at your device. One of the problems that most mobile phone users complain about is that after a while, let's say you buy a phone now, and after 1 or 2 years, your memory will run out and your phone will become slow, and then you need to replace it by another, because you need a phone with larger memory or larger processing capabilities. But this is for now, but in the future this will not be the case at all. You will have new devices that don't need memory at all. You don't need memory. Everything on the cloud, everything on the internet, you don't store it at your device at all. All what you need, you just request it, and the cloud, the servers will display it to you. And this display, it doesn't need to be a display of a normal smartphone. It can be a display on the air. You just convert any surface around you to a screen of any size you want. It's not limited to the physical size of your mobile phone anymore. So all these are exciting applications, exciting topics, exciting fields that are related to electrical engineering. And we don't want you to graduate and you are not familiar with at least 1 or 2 of these. And the ultimate goal is that I hope some of you might love at least and get interested in one of these topics, and he decide to be a master of it. He decide to be developing products related to it, or opening a company, or getting prepared for a good job in the future. But these are the emerging topics. These are the new things. Now, the Internet of Things. Let me just give you a brief description of some of these. Not all of them. Let's just focus on some of these. The Internet of Things. If you just search on the internet and write Internet of Things, what's Internet of Things? The Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data between devices. Now, let's look at this fact. Now, up until now, we have been designing communication systems and computing systems for humans to talk with each other and to exchange information and to connect with the world and explore the world via the internet, isn't it? So the communication was just for humans, for people who are conscious, who can really read, write, interact, take decisions. But right now, the move is towards objects. You want the objects to be as smart as the human. How can you make the objects as smart as the human? So what are the 2 distinctive things that the human has? He has a brain to think, and he has senses, he has inputs. So the senses are the seeing and hearing and touching and whatever. And the brain processes information, understands patterns, and analyzes things and take decisions. So with the Internet of Things, you are basically putting senses to these devices and deprogramming them in such a way they take action when something happens remotely. So you basically combine, you give these objects, you give these dummy things, which are to us, they are stupid, they have no intelligence whatsoever. For example, let's say we want to make a smart fridge, or a smart coffee machine, or a smart table, or a smart window. Imagine you are making a smart curtain. So how can you make this smart? You give this object, you give it 3 things. We call it triple C. What are these triple C's? We give it computation capabilities, communication capabilities, and control capabilities. So the communication is to be able to send and receive information and take action when something happens. Send notification, send information, receive information, take action. This is the purpose of communication. The purpose of computing is to process things and take and send comments, receive comments, understand them, analyze them. The purpose of control is to take action when something needed. For example, the object will be integrated with a, let's say, a microcontroller, most often like ESP32 or Arduino or whatever, something like this. And when something happens according to your programming, you can instruct the microcontroller to activate one of its outputs, which is connected, for example, with a notification message to be sent to the mobile phone, or by the activation of a call, or activation of a microphone or a sensor or whatever. The applications are unlimited, and it's up to you, to your thinking and your creativity and what you want to build and what you want to do. So this is basically the Internet of Things. It's a huge, it can be, it's domain agnostic. What do we mean by domain agnostic? Domain independent. You don't need to be a computer engineer or an electrical engineer to make use of the Internet of Things. It can apply anywhere, to any domain, anything. So anybody who makes use of this will benefit his field or his application. So example of Internet of Things projects that I usually do with my students in my course of Introduction to Communication. You can find them in this link, this presentation. I will share it with you, and you can check these nice applications, nice projects that my students built during their third year, before even their graduation project. Now, some of the students do really very well. Some, if they are not interested, they don't do very great projects. But in overall, this gives you exposure to what's possible to be done. Many of the students, they were able even to sell their products for people who are interested in them. So this, you can click the link and maybe visit these demos and these projects that we hope you can make projects better than them in the future. So we have the artificial intelligence now. What's artificial intelligence? It refers to the simulation of human intelligence. You want a machine, you want a computer to think like a human, to be smart as a human. You want what's unique about this? The machine will take decision and will take action by itself. You don't need to explicitly programming and tell it what to do exactly. It just learns, takes action according to the environment and what's happening. So simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. The term may also be applied to any machine that exhibits traits associated with a human mind, such as learning and problem solving. And this is very exciting domain, especially when you combine it and integrate it with the Internet of Things. Now, where you can learn these and how you can get started with these domains. For example, one of the nice websites I found on the internet, which is really useful and helpful to get you started in these, is called researcherstore.com. You can find it when I share the presentation. You just need to here type courses, /courses, and write here blockchain. For example, you want to learn about blockchain, and you will find many courses here. You want to learn about something else. Let's say you want to learn about artificial intelligence. You just write artificial intelligence and you get several courses. You want to learn about 5G, you write about 5G. About security, you write security, you get there. You learn about Internet of Things, you write Internet of Things, you get there. So what's the difference between these websites and the other websites that teach similar things? The other websites, the problem with them, whenever you want to learn a course or this, you need to buy it, or this or that. This platform gives you membership, access to all the courses, and you have full access to all of them and learn anything you want, any domain, and with just one membership level. You don't need to keep paying for different courses and different tests. It's just membership level. You become a member and you just start learning all these things or whatever you want or see suitable. Now, we learned about these new emerging topics, which are exciting and amazing and useful and are going to change the world around us. And we want to learn, we know where to learn about them now. We want to know what are the emerging applications related to these technologies. So what can we do with these technologies? First, we have a new domain called now fintech. What's fintech? It's financial technologies. When you, for example, give me an example of this, central bank digital currencies. All governments around the world nowadays are thinking of how to move from cash society to cashless society, where everything can be, the currency, our currency can be digital. And I don't mean by digital using your credit card or this. I mean like something that's like Bitcoin, but also controlled by the government. So most of the government around the world are working on this, and they have projects right now. And for example, in China nowadays, they have the digital yuan, where anybody wants to buy their products or this, they can buy it using their own currency, which is digital. What does this mean? This means that you don't need to pay fees for transaction, to lose money while you are converting, and this is fixed value. It's like an asset. And also it means to solve the inflation problem that most countries are suffering from. And these are all these applications and all these nice use cases are enabled by blockchain technology. Once you learn about blockchain, you can get involved in these projects. You can work on developing these digital currencies or digital distributed applications or whatever. We have another domain called biotech. Example, biomedical, bioresonance, radiobiology, and so on and so forth. Basically, you combine technology with biology. And there are many exciting applications for this. We have the agri-tech. You combine technology, the previous emerging technologies with the agriculture, and you make solutions that can make the process of making things safe, cheaper, easier, faster, simpler. You have the chemitech. We have something called, as an example I'm giving here, we have something called the smart material. We have another thing called metamaterial. What do we mean by this? This is a new research domain in which you can make things invisible, for example. Yes, you design material that when you put it in a certain object, the object will not be visible to human beings. It's one of the applications. There are many as well. We have the physitech domain, where you build smart buildings, smart infrastructure that are resilient to earthquakes, and they can move and shape according to the vibrations, and they have many features that are integrated with the nature around them. They adapt, they adjust, they are not fixed. We have the mech-tech, the automechanical machines. We have the electro-tech, like AI chips. We have the arm tech, like auto fighting drones. We have the auto tech, that's self-driving cars. We have the energy tech, like smart grids. We have also domains like system interoperability to connect these independent systems created by different groups and let them talk with each other. And many more disciplines that I didn't mention in this list, but this is to give you just a glimpse of an eye of what's possible and the exciting emerging new applications due to these enabling technologies. So we have also other disciplines and the specialties like MEMS, chips, fabrication, wireless telecom, lasers, electronics, automotive, solar energy, renewable energies, batteries, motors, machines, electronic appliances, and many other disciplines that are not mentioned here. Those are just examples. Now,